John, my man, how is it going?
Good, Jacob, good.
So, Sean, basically, right, what this call's about is essentially me just trying to get an understanding of where you're sort of at right now, maybe what you've tried in the past, and then where you're actually looking to get to, right? And based on sort of what we speak about, then we'll be able to determine if we're actually able to help you and get you to where you want to be. And worst case scenario, you'll come away here with some advice if this isn't the right fit for you, right? How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Awesome, awesome. So, I mean, just to start off then, Sean, what's actually motivated you to hop on the call today then?
Basically, just I'm seeing people obviously doing things online, making money, being able to travel and that, and within my line of work, it's no feasible to do. And basically, my job's just getting slightly a bit too much for me now.
And do you mind breaking that down a bit for me? Like, why are you not able to do that? Like, why is your job becoming too much for you essentially?
I work as a support worker, so basically work with severely disabled kids,
Right.
kids in bad circumstances, kids that have had bad things happening to them, some kids that are really not well. So it's a mentally challenging kind of job. Like I said, it's got its rewards, it's good working and helping, but it's quite a mentally challenging job, and I feel now it's starting
Mm.
to take its toll on me.
And like in terms of what you're saying there, like it's mentally challenging and it's taking a toll on you. Like, can you break down for me like why that actually is?
It's just you're getting in day to day, and you're dealing with severely disabilities and kids that have been badly treated by their parents. So it's quite hard and emotional to see this and see it on a
Mm.
daily basis. And as you could probably imagine, I mean, it's no the most pleasant at times. Don't get me wrong, it's got its good points, but overall, it's really starting to take its toll on me. I've been doing it 5 years now, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's affecting me.
Mm. So would you say then in terms of how the job's actually sort of taken a toll and is it more than the actual nature of the work itself or how it's actually impacting you then?
More how it's impacting me now. The nature of the job, I knew what I was getting into,
Mm.
but I obviously never really, in one hand, I knew what I was getting into, but I never really anticipated how
Mm.
mentally draining and quite harrowing at times to be dealing with this on a daily basis.
Mm. And yeah, absolutely, man. Like dealing with that on a daily basis, that sort of intense job with these kids with disabilities. I mean, is that pretty intense?
Extremely.
Right. Okay. Okay. And like in terms of it being extremely intense and essentially taking a toll on you, can you break down why it's actually taking a toll on you? Like, what is it about the job that is causing you to sort of have that effect?
I mean, yeah, I'm a healthy person, and you're getting in there and seeing kids that are wheelchair bound, can't speak, can't do anything for themselves. So it kind of makes you sad inside to see that these people, and ultimately, they're actually relying on me for some sort of quality of life throughout the day, and it's quite heartbreaking to see on a daily basis.
Heartbreaking, man.
Heartbreaking.
So, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, yeah, like I get why that would be heartbreaking in terms of seeing all these kids, dealing with all these disabilities and potential terminal illnesses as well, like you said. But like for you then, why is this like job, right? Like why have you actually hopped onto the call with me today then? If obviously the job is a massive factor here in terms of how you're feeling, right? But why do you want to chase that freedom that you mentioned earlier, that the boys online are actually sort of pursuing?
Because they're living a life where it looks fun and it looks as if they're enjoying themselves. I think they're not getting into an environment like that. So I've just decided that I never really stuck in at school, but so I've just decided that my kind of options now are stay where I am or try and do something online and try and change my lifestyle and change it all up. So that's why I've jumped on the call today. See what this is all
Mm.
about. See if I can ultimately actually do it.
Yeah, and like in terms of changing it up then, right? Because obviously you told me that the job is making you sad. So I'm gonna sort of assume here that you wouldn't want to be sad in your job, right? What if, changing the actual sadness about the job wasn't an option? What is another thing that you would want to actually change in regards to the job then?
The full thing. There's no just one thing I want to change about the job. I
Mm,
want to change the full thing because it's, as I've said to you, it's not easy. It's no easy. Listen, some days are easier than others. I mean, but I'm not sure if you could imagine yourself, but you imagine you're maybe dealing, not that I'm dealing with anything, but if you're dealing with something in your own life, maybe a bereavement in your family, and then you're
yes.
still so I know that that's happened now, but it has happened in the past. But got to go then into my work, dealing with my own bereavement, and then I'm actually getting into more
Mm,
heartache when you're dealing with
yeah.
fucking people with special needs.
So am I right in saying then that the intensity of things that are going on outside of work just builds up with the intensity of the actual work itself then?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you can
Mm,
go in, sometimes you can come home for your work and you constantly feel down because of what you've been dealing with or what you've seen.
mm, mm. So you're bringing that like intensity of the job home with you then, is that right?
Yeah, well, it's hard to take that out your head, what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. It's not just a
Mm.
switch.
And like in terms of bringing that home then, like how does that look like?
I mean, every day is different, but I can go home sometimes and I'm harboring everything I've dealt with throughout the day. So when I go home, I'm maybe not as cheery, happy. Do you know what I mean? Even though I'm getting home in my own environment, so maybe I'm a bit emotionally detached when I get home.
In terms of like emotionally detached then, Sean, like emotionally detached from what? What is that detachment actually sort of coming from?
Emotionally detached from my actual home life. So I'm getting home
Mm,
feeling fucking doom and gloom, big black cloud over my head. I take that back into the house, so I'm not the fun husband or the fun father when I go back. Do you know what I mean?
oh,
It's hard to flick the switch and
mm,
just go into your house and be. It's hard to go for dealing with people that are fucking like that and then just go home and you're all of a sudden happy. It just life doesn't work like that.
yes. So the job that you're working is actually impacting you in the sense that you're not able to come across as like a happy sort of present father. Is that right? Or partner?
Not all the time, but it can happen quite a lot.
Mm. And like specifically then, Sean, like is that just in general, just whenever you're spending time with your kids and your missus, or how does that look? Like when do you feel like you're not like sort of being able to
Yeah.
portray yourself as like a happy
Sometimes,
person?
sometimes it takes me an hour or two to actually can decompress and actually forget about what I've been dealing with.
Mhm.
So you can imagine if I'm working 9 till 6, if it takes me 2 hours to actually kind of
Yes.
decompress during the day, my kid's in bed, so I've just effectively missed out in 2 hours there because
Mm.
I'm no actually there because I'm still fucking thinking about all the stuff that's been on throughout the day.
Yes. So in terms of like that time you take to decompress, then, right? Are you saying that that's taken away time from actually spending time with like your kids and your partner as well?
Yeah, but not all the time. I mean,
Mm.
maybe once a week it's maybe like that. The other
Yeah.
times because I've maybe knows had a bad day, but it does impact.
Mm. And in terms of impacting then, like, do you have any specific sort of examples that's happened in the past of, you know, where you have maybe wanted to do something with your kids, but you have maybe needed that time to actually dedicate to decompressing after work?
It's not so much at the weekend, it's maybe just a Monday to Friday thing. And as my kids, he's only 4, So he's gone to his
Mm,
bed at like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So that probably happens more often than not at night. By the time I got home, sit down and try and gather my head again, it's time for him to go to bed. So it's is impacting that to a degree. But I wouldn't say it's a
mm,
massive impact as he's still young. So, but
mm.
come the weekend, I'm okay. Once I'm away from it, I'm back okay. So it's no problem at the
Yeah.
weekend. It's more just a Monday to Friday type thing to actually clear your head and
Mm.
move on.
So you're saying there that it's not really playing that much of an impact in terms of, like spending time with your son, considering it only happens maybe about once a week, right? But
Yeah.
how does it sort of impact you, Sean, that your job is so mentally intense that you need to sacrifice your free time that you could be using with your son to actually decompress after such an intense day at work?
That's why I'm reaching out and looking to change because it's obviously having an impact on my own. It's having a mental fucking toll on me now. So
Mm,
it's maybe because I've been doing it 5 years. It's maybe been a slow progression, a slow burner to actually get me to the point now where I'm struggling to actually detach for the job, taking back.
yes.
So that's why I'm kind of ultimately where I'm at now.
So ultimately, it's sort of building up then. Is it becoming more, like, it's taking more of a toll on you, is that right?
As time goes on, it's taking more of a toll.
Hmm. Okay, so like going forward then, like let's say in another year or 2 years or 3 years, how do you feel like that's going to look like for you then? If it's already taken more of a toll on you now as time goes on.
I'd imagine it's just going to get worse. And also, my son's going to get a bit older where I would have more time at night to do stuff. And if I'm still taking that back, it's not going to be it's not a thought that I want to actually think about. I just want to try and change.
Hmm. And like in terms of the things that you're saying that you might miss out on if it does take out more of a if it does take more of a toll, like you said, your son's only 4, right? So say further down the line as he grows up, what do you feel like you could specifically be missing out on if you do need that time to decompress in the evenings?
Just spending time with him doesn't necessarily need to be doing anything, but just actually being present.
Mm, okay. So like based on everything you've told me then, Sean, like that you sort of need to change that, you don't see this sort of continuing because you don't want to sort of impact your relationship with your son, right? As time goes on. So like when did you actually sort of realize that you needed to make this change?
Probably been more over the last 6 months. It's kind of been building. Well, I say it's probably been a slow burner since I started the job without actually realising it. But the last
Mm,
6 months now it's starting to maybe my son because he's getting a wee bit older, or I don't know, but the last 6 months it's really
mm.
intensified that I'm like, right, I need to change this.
So is it that the job itself really intensified 6 months ago, or was it that the problems with, that you're dealing with of not having enough time with your son, as that just
No,
sort of became harder to ignore for you?
job's always been intense, like, but I think it's more, as I said, it's more taking me longer now to detach from the things that are going on in work to switching back just to normal life. So maybe over the last 6 months, there's not been like one defining moment when it's happened, but I've felt it over the last 6 months getting stronger and stronger where I'm like, right, I need to
Yeah.
change.
Mm. Okay, so you're saying that you need to change, right? But is that because of the impact that it's having now, or also the impact that it's going to have in the future then, if you don't take
Both,
action?
both.
Mm. So what do you feel like actually needs to happen then? I mean, starting from today, so that we can avoid, essentially it impacting you and your son even more going forward.
I'm going to need to try something and change it. I need to change the job, obviously. The job, I can't keep
Mm.
doing the job, so I need to change something. And as I said, I never really stuck in at school, so my options are quite limited.
Right.
So the online space is obviously a thing it's really been booming over the last 4, 5, 6 years and
Yeah.
different avenues and different things. So this is what I'm planning to get down now.
Mm. But I mean, break it down for me then, Sean. You're saying there that you need to change, but do you really need to change? I mean, show me that you've been working this job for the last 5 years. Your son's
No,
4 now, so you've stuck it out for the first 4 years of his life. So why not just continue to stick that out and see how it goes?
because that's nah. The change has to happen. It has to happen. That's what I'm saying. It's more grinding now. So
Mm,
I can only imagine what it's going to be like in another 2 or 3 years from now. So there's no point prolonging something another 2 or 3 years when I can see the trajectory of how I'm feeling and how it's going. So
mm. And yeah, you don't want that to happen, right? So in terms of what you said there earlier, you said that you sort of been thinking about changing for the last 6 months because of, the growing impact that this situation was having on you. So over those last 6 months then, Sean, have you actually tried anything to essentially make a change?
no, I haven't done anything.
Come on, I mean, 6 months, that's a pretty long time to not do anything. So what do you feel like's been holding you back?
Just so much choice online. It's just so many different things. I didn't know what way to go.
And what do you mean by that? Can you sort of help me break
Just
that down?
drop and shipping, and you've got fucking Amazon. You've got high ticket sales. There's just so many. I just wasn't sure what avenue to go down.
Mm. So, like, in terms of what you're saying there, like, you didn't know which avenue to go down. Is that because there wasn't enough information on these things, or was there actually an overload of information for you?
It's maybe most one overload of information, but
Mm.
it's new. It's new to me, so there's just so much going on.
Right, right. And like, in terms of what you've seen, then, in terms of the information that was actually available and you did come across, did any of that information seem useful to you in getting you to where you want to be?
If I'm honest, I was only really watching the content, so that was the only really information I'm getting. And when you're watching content, it all looks good.
Right.
I guess for me, for making a choice of what to do, as I said, it's new to me. It's maybe a fear of failure, a fear of failing it, fear of doing it. It's
Mm.
maybe held me back. It's maybe held me back from actually taking a leap.
Right. So break that down for me then. Is it like that you didn't know where to start then, or that it was just you had that fear, so that's why you didn't start?
It's just the fear. I think the fear of jumping into something and failing. As I say,
Right.
I'm not very, I wasn't very smart at school, so there's always that element of fear in the back of your head that am I going to be able to do this?
Mm. And like, would you say that's where that sort of fear, that belief stems from school? You're saying maybe you didn't feel like you were that smart. Is that where that actually stems from then, that belief?
Uh, yeah,
Right. And like in terms of failure then, what does failure actually look like to you, Sean?
potentially putting my time and money into something and not making a success of it. That's what my fear is.
Mm, mm. Tell me, Sean, right? Like, let's say, for example, I was to give you a guarantee, right, that no matter how, smart you felt about something, if you just actually took action, you would get the results that you want. Would you take that guarantee and actually pursue that?
Of course, why you'd be stupid not to take a guarantee, wouldn't you?
And so why would you take that guarantee then?
Because I'm guaranteed to make it a success.
Mm. Mm. Do you mind if I share a quick perspective with you, Sean? Just
No, go for it.
say, for example, when you start the gym, right? So you're a pretty fit guy, right? Do you go to the gym?
Yeah,
Awesome. So whenever you start the gym, right? Let's say, for example, I give you a PT and I give you a diet plan. Would that be enough for you to essentially guarantee yourself results? Or would you actually need to show up to the gym consistently and put the work in so that you do guarantee yourself results?
no, of course you're going to need to show up. You're not just going to magically get muscles just with a PT and a diet plan. If you don't show up, then it's not just going to magically happen.
Exactly. You're completely right in saying that. So would you say that, would it be safe to say that for the gym then, it all comes down to you, whether the results actually happen?
Yep, and I'd say that's why that maybe where my fear comes in, because obviously I don't feel as if I was that great in school. That's where the fear builds up from. I
Mm,
mean, showing up's one thing, but actually being able to do something's another.
mm. You told me that you had been watching the content, right? So, I mean, Conrad, whenever he started, he felt the same way as you. I mean, look where Conrad is now. After overcoming that fear, he had a fear of failure too. I mean, do you feel like if you overcame that fear, you could sort of reach that same position as he would?
I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
So, would you be ready to overcome that fear then? If,
Yeah,
as we said, in the gym, it all comes down to you. The same way as within the online space, it all comes down to you at the end of the day if you are going to achieve the results that you want and not fail.
yeah, I would say I'm ready to give it everything
And why are you ready to give it everything, Sean?
because I don't want to keep doing what I'm doing.
Mm. So do you see how having that fear then has essentially got you in this position of doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah, potentially. I never really thought about it like that, but yeah,
And going forward then, if we continue to have that fear of it not working out, that self-doubt, where do you feel like that's going to lead us to in, say, another 6 months' time?
just be exactly the same spot I'm in just now.
And is that something that you want, Sean?
No, definitely not.
I mean, why not? You could just stick it out, see where it goes. Maybe
Nah,
work will get better, man.
it's not going to get any better. It's not get better in 5 years. It's not just going to magically change. It's the same
Mm,
scenario every day. So
mm. Because right now, Sean, there's two versions of you that I see anyway. There's the version of Sean that we've seen over the last 6 months. The version of Sean that has that self-doubt, thinks that he isn't smart enough to actually get started, thinks it's going to fail, right? And essentially, that belief has stopped him from taking action and actually getting himself closer to his goal. Whilst over here, we have a new version of Sean, a version of Sean that pushes that belief, that self-doubt, that fear of failure aside, takes action, and does get himself the best possible chance of getting himself where he wants to be. Going forward, Sean, which version of yourself do you see yourself being?
I want to give myself the best possible chance
And why that, as opposed to the version of Sean that we have seen over the last 6 months?
because the other version of the last 6 months hasn't got me anywhere, is it? And I've no tried. So the
Mm,
other version's giving me a chance, and it's down to me to take the chance.
mm. So, in order to actually give yourself the best chance, then, Sean, of overcoming that fear, of getting, yourself out of the position that you're in right now, what do you feel like you would need to be able to essentially overcome that fear and give yourself the best chance, man?
I would need moving into something new. I would need help. I would need to be shown how to do the things that I'm not trying to learn to do.
Yeah.
That's what I would need to actually move forward.
Mm. And like in terms of help, what do you mean by help? Can you sort of help me understand?
Somebody that's been trained, somebody that's walked the walk, somebody that knows how to do it, somebody that you can go to and get advice, somebody that can to
Mm.
point to you're doing good, but you're doing bad.
Yeah. So like a coach, essentially, is that what you're saying?
Basically, I teacher, coach, whatever way you want to call it.
Awesome. And like, do you feel like that having that coach alone then is going to help you sort of overcome that fear and get you to your goal just by having the coach?
It would help, but I mean that would help definitely. But I mean, there's obviously going to need to be some sort of learning platform to actually, you know what I mean, to help you, and then you can use the coach to once you've kind of learned, and then you can use the coach to help you implement what you've learned and
Mm.
develop.
Yeah, so you would actually need to sort of learn like
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the, the
yeah,
foundation
yeah. But
so
like
that the
do the
coach can help you
anything.
develop that.
Yeah, but doing it like any sort of course, like you would have fucking, you'd have the theory side where you would read I don't know how the process would work, but generally when you do
Mm,
a course, there's theory, you learn the theory, you have a practice at the theory, and then you kind of move into the next stage where it be a practical maybe, a practical part of it where
yes.
you'd be more hands-on doing it, and then obviously the coach would be kind of telling you, you're doing that wrong, or well done, you've done that right, keep doing that, don't do that. So that
Mm,
combined together is generally what's fucking generally what a course or development's built around in it, a teacher and fucking theory.
exactly. It's like in school, right? Like say you're learning a new subject, you would have, the actual knowledge there. Like as you said, the theory, right? But then you also have that teacher there to keep you right. Tell me, Sean, in terms of in school, right? Who else would you have around you as opposed to just the teacher?
You'd have people in the class with you. There's always somebody there you can maybe have a wee cheat offer, have a look at their answers. But no, but you know what I
Nice.
mean. Just been funny there. But yeah, if you've got other people round about you, they may be doing better than you, they might be doing worse than you, so you can help each other, I suppose.
So do you feel like having, sort of that like classroom or community of people around you then that are sort of learning the same subject as you are in school would benefit you?
Definitely, definitely. If you were to combine it all together, then it's giving you the best possible chance.
Mm, for sure. And like say we did combine all those things together then, if you had all those things in place, right? That sort of community, that like knowledge, the theory that you were talking about, and then on top of that, a coach, a teacher. Let's say you had all those things in place. Where do you see yourself in, say, that another 6 months if you did have all those things?
I'd like to think I'd have a grasp on what I was trying to do. I'm not saying you're going to be an expert in 6 months, but I would like to think you've got a good understanding
Mm.
of what you're actually trying to achieve.
And what do you mean by like a good understanding? In
Well,
6 months, would you just want to have a good understanding?
n- obviously you'd like to have it done quicker. I mean, if you could do it in a week, it would be fucking ideal. But I mean, things are never as easy as that. Do you know what I mean? And plus, it all comes down to yourself as well. How quick you learn, how much you actually want to learn quicker. It's just there's a lot of moving components involved in there.
Yeah, but let's say you did learn all the, all the knowledge, you had that coach, you had that community around you, right? And essentially you covered the basics, you learned the skill. I mean, in 6 months' time, where would you see yourself, man?
If I've learned it all and I'm decent at it, I would like to be out of my job and doing something online and fucking making a living online and doing something that would make me happy.
Mason, what does that look like for you? What would make you happy if you were out of your job?
It would make me happy that I potentially could have more time back to spend with my family. I wouldn't be bringing,
Mm,
obviously, every job's got its own aspects, but I wouldn't be bringing the harsh realities of dealing with disabled kids and that
yes.
into my life. So that full aspect would change.
And like in terms of time then, Sean, like what does having that time back actually look like? Come on, man, give me some specifics. What do you want to be doing with your family if you do have all that time, man?
Listen, nothing lavish or anything like that, just being able to spend good quality time with my family with a clear head, not having
Mm.
the thought maybe in the fucking Sunday night that I'm having to get back there, and it would do a whole lot. Also, there's an endless amount of money you can make online, so financially, if you are making X, Y, and Z, it would change the lifestyle that I'm living. I could move to a bigger house if I wanted to. Just general run of the mill things.
So it's actually about the money sort of providing you with that life then. And
More time, more getting time back and spending good time
yes,
with my family. But like you say, listen, you're only human. If you can make more money, then fucking why not?
beautiful. So time with the family is sort of your main goal then.
Yeah.
And is that just essentially just actually being present? Like not having to sort of shut down after work, like you were saying, for 2 hours. It's actually just being present and
Yeah.
essentially having all the quality time in the world. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Yep. That'd be perfect.
Awesome. So, I mean, picture yourself 6 months down the line, right? You're working from your laptop remotely, as opposed to coming home from a job that's so mentally intense. You're able to actually spend quality time with your son in a dream house that you bought with the money that you made online. How is that going to feel for you, bro?
It'll feel good. It'll change the It would change everything, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, if you've got the time, I mean, it's not even just working from home. You could do the school runs and things like that, and just be more present. And obviously, with doing things online, there could be potentially more money. It'd be ideal. It's a nice thought.
So is that why you think you'll feel so good then, being able to actually sort of be present in those day-to-day things, like lifting your son from school or just being present in the day-to-day things then, yeah?
Yeah, and also
Beautiful.
taking away the that part of the job. That would be perfect.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. And you're telling me how this is going to make you feel to be present for your son, for your missus. But how do you think it's going to make them feel if you are present, if you are also providing that life for them?
Oh, it made a big difference. It made a huge difference. It made a huge difference to my son as well, and my wife, because obviously she's understanding. She knows the job that I do, so she's
Yeah.
understanding. Obviously, she can see me struggling, so not that she's ever said, but I'd imagine it'd be kind of hard for her to actually see me like that. So
And is that the type of, you know, father, partner that you want to be remembered as, Sean? Like the father that is around as opposed to the father that isn't?
100%.
Beautiful. And obviously, Sean, right? Like this life that you're talking about, having that freedom, being able to be around for the things that are important, it doesn't come free. The very first step, the foundation of actually being able to do that is getting you out of that job as, a support worker. So in order to actually get you out of that job, like replace your income and work fully remotely, what do you feel like you would need to be making sort of per month to be able to do that, man?
Well, I make £2,500 a month now, so replacing that would be the first port of call. If I can replace that, then I can still live the life I'm living, which isn't bad, obviously taking away the other job. But you know yourself, once you start making 2,500, you've replaced your income, you're always going to want to make more. I mean, who doesn't want more money?
Yeah. And like in terms of making more, what are we thinking? Talk to me.
I mean, if I was to double it to five, I mean, I have a decent enough life making two and a half a month. If I was to
Yeah.
double it, it's going to be obviously doubly better than what it actually is.
Yeah. And I mean, 5K is very achievable. So do you feel like 5K is going to give you that life that you desire then for you and also the people around you?
Yeah, yeah. I feel as if I was to double it, I'd be
Mm.
making more than enough. But again, you know yourself, greed always comes in it. You always want more, you always want more.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. And like, tell me, Sean, obviously you're aware of how much work and intensity it takes to make 2.5K in your current job, right? So are you aware that it's going to take, also a lot of work, persistence, dedication to actually pull in those 5K months that you're dreaming of?
Of course, I'm not oblivious to what's going to be required. You're not just going to get given 5K a month, no doing fucking putting the time and the effort and the work in.
Mm. So are you prepared to put that sort of work in?
110%.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that. But like in terms of how long you've actually wanted to make this dream of, getting that time back with your kid, with your missus, being able to provide that sort of high quality life for them as well as yourself, right? When have you actually wanted to make these dreams become a reality, Sean? How long ago?
Yes, I've always wanted to earn more money. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? I've always wanted that, but as I said to you, probably the last 6 months has
Right.
really became really apparent that I
Mm.
need to do the change.
And like in terms of, the last 6 months, the way I see it, man, that's 180 days where you woke up with this dream of wanting to get out of your job and providing this life. this dream actually hasn't been present in your life. What do you feel like it's already cost you, Sean, that this dream has been in your head but hasn't actually been a reality?
I just keep circling back to the same thing. It's cost me time. It's cost me time with my kids, my kid and my wife. That's really the bearing
Mm,
factor, but it's cost me.
yeah. And like in terms of time, would it be safe to say that you've also missed out on making plenty of memories with both of those people that are really important to you over those last 6 months?
100%, 100%. It's cost me that and making memories.
Mm. Because what's one thing we can never get back, Sean?
Can never get time back.
For sure. For sure. And yes, so you've told me that it's cost you already time and making memories. What do you feel like that's cost you, like emotionally then? Like how does that sit with you?
It's not the best. It's not the best feeling knowing that what I actually do now takes the time away. So it does have a bearing effect. And plus, you're putting that emotion on top of the other emotions that you're bringing for your work. So it's not an ideal situation.
Yeah, for sure, man. So it's cost you time, it's cost you memories, it's cost you emotion. But another way to look at it, right? You told me that you've been wanting to pull in sort of 5K months for the last 6 months. Let's say we started pulling in those 5K months 6 months ago. That's 30K you could have made up until this point. I mean,
Yeah.
30K, that's a pretty good down payment for a new house that you were talking about, right?
It is when you put it into that with money, but again, I still better come back to it. That's hypothetical that I could have made that, but I get what you're meaning. But I mean, if I'd have took the jump 6 months ago, I'd be 6 months further ahead, so I'd have been closer to actually achieving these things.
Yeah, sure, because right now, man, right? It's already cost you all of these things. But say if we push, take an action back another 6 months, what do you feel like it's going to cost you further down the line then?
If I push it, keep pushing it, and keep pushing it. I actually can't even think about pushing it further back because it is getting overwhelming. So
Mm,
I don't even want to think that, have that thought process. I just want to make change and get on with it.
yeah, but like, just to clear up then, is it only going to cost you more about what it's already cost you?
Yep, basically.